Maui honestly surprised me. I knew it was going to be beautiful, but I didn't expect it to become one of my favorite trips. This vlog is my first Maui travel diary, starting with Road to Hana, which I thought was just going to be a pretty drive, but ended up being one of my favorite days. One thing I'll say right away is if you're doing Road to Hana, just start early, and not because you need to rush through it, but because everything just takes longer than you think. The roads are super narrow, curvy, and you don't want to be stressing about that the whole day. Our first big stop was Waiʻānapanapa State Park, which is where the most famous black sand beach is. And honestly, this is one of the places I was most excited to see on Road to Hana. The beach felt so different from any other beach that I've been to. The black sand, the dark rocks, the waves, the greenery around it, everything looks just so unreal. And it's one of those places where you don't even need to do much. You can just stand there and take it in. This is also one of those Road to Hana stops where you need to plan ahead because this park requires a reservation and timed entry. We continued to spend some time walking around and taking a bunch of photos by the sand beach, the rocks, and different little viewpoints around the park. I also didn't realize there were campsites around the park, so it felt like more than just a quick beach stop. You could tell people actually come here to stay, slow down, and just spend more time around this part of Maui. After that, we stopped for coffee, and I tried the macadamia nut coffee because obviously when you're in Maui, you have to try something local. It was such a small stop, but these little breaks are what made the Road to Hana day feel so fun. After that, we continued the drive and made a few waterfall stops along the way. Some were quick, some were just pull over and look moments, but the whole drive had so many little surprises. It really felt like every few minutes there was something new to see. I had heard about Road to Hana before, but I don't think I fully understood what kind of day it actually was until we were doing it. And since our Hawaii plan came together pretty last minute, this was one of those moments where I kept thinking, I wish I had a little more time to plan the stops better. But also figuring it out as we went made it feel like an actual adventure. At some point, we stopped for some local pizza, and I feel like food on a long travel day always tastes better. I don't know if it was hunger, the drive, or the Maui air, but this hit the spot. After that, we made a few more random stops, nothing too perfectly planned, just little places that looked interesting or very pretty. And honestly, I think that was probably my favorite part of Road to Hana. It didn't feel like one big destination. It felt like a bunch of small moments and you're there capturing and everything. Towards the end of the day, we stopped by Okipa Beach Park, which is known as a good spot to see sea turtles. And at first, it just looked like another beach stop. But once we walked a little more closer, we realized there were turtles resting right on the sand. It was honestly so cool because they weren't doing anything dramatic. They were just there, completely unbothered, rested by the water, while everyone quietly watched from a distance. The next day, we started with Waiheʻe Ridge Trail, and this hike really humbled me almost immediately. Even getting to the actual trail felt like a huge uphill walk, and people coming back down were literally telling us this isn't even the worst part, so that was very encouraging. From the beginning, it felt like one long climb. There were so many uphill sections, muddy parts, and moments where I genuinely had to stop and catch my breath. Every time I thought we were getting close, there was somehow more trail ahead. But the views were insane. You get these wide open mountain and ocean views, and the higher you go, the more dramatic everything looks. It was tiring, but also one of those hikes where the views keep convincing you to keep going. And I'm not gonna lie, this was one of the harder hikes I've done. It took us around 3.5 hours total, and by the end, my legs were gone. But I'm still really glad we did it because Waiheʻe Ridge showed us such a different side of Maui. If you're planning to do this trail, I would definitely not treat it like a casual scenic walk. Wear shoes with good grip, bring enough water, and give yourself time. Because between the uphill parts, the mud, the photo stops, and the breaks, it takes longer than you think. After the hike, we were pretty tired, but we still had one more thing on the plan for the day, trying to catch the sunset at Haleakala. Originally, I really wanted to do Haleakala for sunrise because that's the experience everyone talks about. But every time we tried to reserve it, the spots were literally getting booked within seconds. And so at some point, we just accepted that sunrise was not happening for us on this trip, and sunset became the backup plan. The drive to the viewpoint felt completely different from the rest of the island. 1 minute you're in warm beach weather, and then slowly the road starts climbing, the air feels colder, and everything starts to feel more quiet and remote. It didn't feel like the same Maui we'd been seeing all day. By the time we got closer to the sunset area, parking was basically not happening. We kept driving around trying to find a spot, but it felt like everyone had the same plan. So instead of the peaceful sunset moment, I imagine it became more of a side-through sunset, and we were just catching little views from the road, stopping where we could, and trying to make the best of it. For day 3, we wanted something a little different after all of the packed days. So this day became more of a Northwest Maui exploring day, less hiking, less strict timing, and more scenic stops along the coast. We started around the Kapalua area, and this side of Maui immediately felt different from the other places we'd been. It felt more open, more coastal, and a little calmer compared to the long drive of road to Hana or the intensity of Waihee Ridge. We traveled through the Honolua Bay and then continued toward Nakalele Blowhole, and this stop definitely felt more rugged and dramatic. The coastline here looked completely different, with the darker rocks, stronger waves, and that wild ocean energy makes you realize how powerful the water is. After a few stops, we were super hungry and we stopped to grab some seafood along the way. So we stopped by this place where we had like fresh fish, and it was pretty good, I would say. After driving around a little bit more, we stopped for Surfing Monkey shaved ice, and honestly, this was such a good little break. After being out in the sun and driving around, shaved ice just made sense. It was simple, refreshing, and exactly what we needed at that point in the day. And we ended the day at the Wailea Beach, which was one last quiet beach stop. After everything we packed into Maui, this was the perfect way to close it out.